All right, here's a debate for the ages. Snaps are better than buttons. Hence, this would be a snap. And there's that very satisfying snap that happens. Maybe I can get it on the mic so you can hear the snappy sound. Oh, all right, so you get the drift. I feel like buttons really suck because every time I get clothes back from dry cleaning, there's buttons that have fallen off. They're not really secure, but snaps are always really good. So I'll give you a moment, talk amongst yourselves. I will be waiting over here. Okay, yeah, so I guess you guys came to the conclusion that snaps are better than buttons, and you're absolutely right. Hey, it's Jay from Sludge Central, and today I had a munchkin that I've never tasted before. This was a Boston cream munchkin. I didn't even know that those existed, and of course I'm talking about the little donut holes from Dunkin Donuts, or as it's known now as just Dunkin, which I think is completely ridiculous. A lot of people still call them Dunkin Donuts. I know it's easier to say just Dunkin, but I mean, they're known for their donuts. So I think getting rid of donuts, the operative term, is kind of silly. When I think back to when I was a kid, if a relative or somebody brought over the box of a dozen Dunkin Donuts, that was like living in luxury. That was amazing. I remember one time my uncle brought over a dozen Dunkin Donuts, and I think I might have had at least 8.5 of them. It was very disgusting, but they really hit the spot. And sometimes I get those specific cravings. You know what I'm saying? When you get a craving and it's very specific, it won't just be for donuts. Maybe you have a donut spot that you go to often, and that might be your favorite. For me, Dunkin' Donuts was and would still be the place I'd go if there was a craving for a donut. I'm not a huge Krispy Kreme fan unless they're Ghostbusters donuts or some kind of tie-in. Maybe they'll do Wednesday. We'll see. But thinking back to that box, you know, it was always like that white box and it said Dunkin' Donuts. But if you got the munchkins, those were in a very fun box with the donut makers creating the donuts. They created this little world of Dunkin' Donut bakers. Everything was fictional and whimsical back then. Now it's just kind of boring, just says Dunkin', no pizzazz. But man, I tasted this munchkin, Boston cream, tiny Boston cream donut. It was awesome. Then I said, let me look up Dunkin' Donuts on the internet. So I did that, and as I'm looking through the flavors of the munchkins, it doesn't even list the Boston cream as a flavor. So I'm thinking maybe this is ultra new, but then they also listed glazed blueberry munchkins. And now I feel like my life has new meaning because I need to try the glazed blueberry munchkin. Sounds delicious. Let's see, let's recap already. We've talked about snaps being better than buttons. We talked about Dunkin' Donuts munchkins. I mean, it's been a hell of a show already. We could just end it now. But no, I do have more. I have to talk about combos. I was thinking about combos, and as a kid, I was really into combos, but my favorite was the combos with the cracker shell versus the pretzel. I know everybody's saying, you're absolutely nuts, man. The pretzels are the way to go. That's the only combo. Well, that cracker on the outside, nice and smooth texture, that was my thing. And as far as cheese goes, you could put any cheese you want in there. I would love to get a cracker combo with a filling of Gouda cheese, or either that or smoked Gouda. It sounds weird for people who aren't into Gouda or have never had Gouda. I think if you gave it a shot, you would really like it. It just struck me. It was like when Doc Brown, when it hit him about the flux capacitor, he just had this epiphany. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, that's the way they need to go. They need to do this Gouda or smoked Gouda cracker combo. Apropos of absolutely nothing. Just needed to get that out there into the world. Hitting shelves soon, Kellogg's ice cream. There's going to be ice cream based off of various cereals. You're going to have Frosted Flakes, Corn Pops, and Eggo waffles. I guess that kind of ties in because it's breakfast, but to me this sounds awesome. And I'm hoping they're better than the Little Debbie ice creams that came out. I don't think they were as good as they could have been. This one has the opportunity to really be good, especially the Frosted Flakes. So I'm looking forward to that. Also coming out in a very limited edition stunt, Cinnamon Toast Crunch Totino's pizza flavor, which is definitely random, and they'll be giving out 1,000 for free apparently. At first it sounds like gross, but then you think about it and you're like, well, this could actually be delicious, almost along the lines of some sort of chip, like a snack chip that would be pizza flavored with the consistency of a Cinnamon Toast Crunch piece of cereal. I can't say I'm hating it. I mean, I doubt I'll be able to get my hands on one, but we'll see. In some toy news, Mattel finally released photos of their new Thundercats wave in the origin style, which is what I've been waiting for. It's always been a huge dream for Masters of the Universe fans to have an entire line of Thundercats in the same universe line as the Masters figures. So Thundercats and Masters were always sort of contemporaries living on the shelves, but they weren't in the same scale or anything like that. LJN made the original Thundercats figures. So to see this happening, it's really big. I think the mashup style is cool, although I do hope that they'll go through this wave of that mashup and then after that release the originals, like based off of how the characters traditionally look. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I do think it would be a failure if they don't do it. As fans, you kind of need that. I mean, I still have the old Funko releases, so I'll just kind of stick with those if the original ones never come out through Mattel. Also pumped for this movie called Hell of a Summer, written and directed by none other than Finn Wolfhard. Finn Wolfhard. I'm always wolfing hard. You guys know that. You're familiar with my hard wolfing. This week, the temperature in my car in the morning was -4 degrees. And then I started reading all about this interplanetary lineup where all the planets are going to line up and you could see it if you have a really powerful telescope. Then I was thinking, man, this -4 degree weather really sucks. But then I looked up, just for shits and giggles, because that's what I do, what's the temperature on Pluto? And it's -387 degrees as an average. So I don't feel that bad about the -4 temporarily here in New Jersey. Before we get out of here, I'm really pulling for Alexa Bliss to be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. It's been a great time. Thanks for hanging out with me here at Sludge Central. This is Jay, signing off.